Nature is painting for us, day after day, pictures of infinite beauty, if only we have the eyes to see them. These miracles of nature do not seem miracles because they are so common. If no one had ever seen a flower, even a rose would be the most startling event in the world. Himachal Pradesh, a hill state nestled in the western Himalayas, takes pride in its natural beauty, manifested by the snow-clad mountains, colorful flowers, and landscapes dotted with perennial streams. The traditional hospitality and friendly society have added to the natural attractions of the state, making it one of the most sought-after tourist destinations. However, what has generally been publicized about this vast plethora of attractions in the name of tourism are just the cool climate and hotel facilities. In the year 2001, Himachal Pradesh government came about with a well-reasoned eco-tourism policy to hold the tourists and make tourism a prosperous, sustainable venture with employment and revenue-generating activities.
The concept of ecotourism is relatively a new concept. Basically, it was a reaction to the conventional tourism. Basically started in the West, this reaction, probably in the 70s, but it has percolated to our state only recently. Basically, the concept says that tourism should be for the masses, for the people, but with least disturbance to the nature.
The ecotourism policy was designed by Mr. Abhay Shukla, the Principal Secretary, Tourism, during that phase.
Tourism in Himachal Pradesh has been mainly urban-based, urban-centric, and has not really gone into the rural areas where the natural beauty of the state is located. For example, we have 32 wildlife sanctuaries in the state. We have 2 beautiful and unique national parks, unique for Himalayan and temperate flora and fauna. And we felt that the time had come to channelize tourism towards those areas. And that is how we developed this ecotourism policy, which was approved by the cabinet and by the government.
To achieve the aims and objectives of the ecotourism policy, certain cost-effective strategies were proposed. Formation of ecotourism societies was the foremost, so as to provide infrastructure for implementing the ecotourism policy. The societies were formed having Chief Conservator of Forest as a Vice Chairman, the Finance Secretary, Managing Director Himachal Tourism, Director Himachal Tourism, Member Secretary Pollution Control Board, 2 non-official members involved in environment conservation and Conservator of Forest as the members of the society. The infrastructure requirements for these societies fall under accommodation, trek routes and information centers. To begin with, low-cost temporary sheds with tin roofs were set up as information centers and trek routes commenced from there.
The beautiful places in Himachal Pradesh are with the forest department. So it was decided that this ecotourism will be a nodal department will be the forest department. So forest department started initiative in 2001, and at the beginning 5 societies were formed in Himachal Pradesh.
The initial selection of ecotourism societies where initiatives of the policy could be implemented were Nature Park Kufri, Khajiyar, Renuka, Great Himalayan National Park, Chansel Pass Eco Trail, Van Vihar Potters Hill. These societies were initiated with the idea to promote smooth implementation of the policy. Those areas which are close to nature were chosen and improved on with tourism point of view. To understand how these societies function, we'll take you to Potters Hill, one of the pioneering ecotourism societies. This area got its name from the potters who used to do pottery here in the British era. It was one of the first societies formed, and this was done in coordination with the private sector. Today, a lot of things have been added for the tourists to come and enjoy. Camp Potters Hill provides the right setting for a family fond of nature and adventure. Camp Potters Hill has kept the accommodation very basic. The tents are for the adventurous people and the huts for those looking for luxury. Trees and wilderness surround the huts and tents. This provides a true camping experience. At the camp, one gets a fantastic feel of the traditional Himachali cuisine. The emphasis is to give the true feel of the place. For the adventurous campers and the not so adventurous ones, there are activity zones at Potters Hill. The adventurous zone has wrestling, rock climbing and outdoor games. In sync with that, the activity zone has some obstacle courses like river crossing and long but simple trek routes.
The staff that we have here are all from villages around us. The basic idea is to provide employment and generate economic benefits for whoever is close to us, is close to Potters Hill. The evening entertainment that we have at Potters Hill is also performed by the staff itself. Again, it has a little touch of Himachali culture into it. Let the tourist come to Potters Hill, enjoy the natural environs, the cuisine, the culture of what Himachal has to offer them.
From the watchtower at Potters Hill, you can see the transition zone between the Cheel pine and the Deodhar pine. You can also see the plantations undertaken by the Forest Department to regenerate the dead forests. In 5 to 10 years, these plantations will develop into dense forest cover. This sort of environment is most satisfying for the people who come from the concrete jungles. Once we learn to love and enjoy the beauty nature has to offer, we instinctively learn to protect and safeguard our possession. Take nothing but pictures. Leave nothing but gentle footprints. Ecotourism helps in the conservation of forests and preservation of forest produce, especially herbs, medicinal plants, ferns and other valuable properties. It restricts the felling of trees for livelihood by locals. Instead, ecotourism provides alternatives to locals. They can sell their poultry, milk products and also earn by providing their services to the ecotourism societies. This therefore provides sustainable regular income for the villagers without any loss of forest wealth. Ecotourism takes the tourist from established and overexploited tourist destinations to villages in and around these places. The objective is to take them close to nature and take them away from their usually busy days. This also acts as a way to involve locals and provide them means to earn their livelihood. The locals convert their heritage houses or houses with traditional style of architecture into locations for rural tourism.
ये मैंने छोटा सा गेस्ट हाउस भी बना रखा है ना जी, और यहाँ पर हमारे टूरिस्ट के ठहरने के लिए जो रेट्स हैं बिल्कुल रीज़नेबल रेट्स हैं, गवर्नमेंट के अप्रूव्ड रेट हैं 350 पर डे। और अगर कोई ऑर्डर देता है खाने के लिए तो वो हम उसको सेपरेटली चार्ज करते हैं और बड़ा रीज़नेबल चार्जेस होता है उसका भी, और उसमें वो घर वाले ही सारा अरेंज कर देते हैं। नहाने के लिए गर्म पानी चाहिए वो गर्म पानी प्रोवाइड करते हैं, ठंडा पानी चाहिए ठंडा पानी प्रोवाइड करते हैं, और कोई स्पेशल चीज़ उनको बाहर घूमने के लिए जाना तो गाइड भी प्रोवाइड कर देते हैं।
The benefits of ecotourism will percolate not only to owners of the houses but also to the rest of the villagers who involve themselves in cooking, cleaning and also those who make traditional Himachali handicrafts and sell them. This, at a macro level, will put a check on the exodus of people from village to towns and will support the economic upliftment of the village as a whole.
The conventional mode of tourism is not sustainable. Firstly, it is very expensive. Only rich people can benefit out of it. And also it often causes destruction and harm to nature. Whereas in an ecotourism setup, there is least interference with nature. People come to the villages, enjoy the nature and then go back.
We came to visit the north side of India because of the mountains and all the trees around here. It's a very cultural area and it's area we like to visit. We stay in Manali, now we go up to this area to see all the castles and to see the mountains.
To save the Himachali culture and heritage villages came about as a part of ecotourism. One such example is the village of Pragpur. This village also exhibits the correlation between the public and the private sector for the success of ecotourism.
None of my efforts in creating village tourism would have been possible without a close cooperation with government. In all our efforts, the government has acted as a facilitator, and the people of Pragpur have been the initiators and the executors of tourist-friendly projects. We got the government to accept our little village to be notified as a heritage area. This gave Pragpur the distinction of becoming India's first heritage village.
Pragpur takes the tourists to explore the rural areas in Himachal. Judges' Court in the village is a heritage property. It has widespread lawns where you can go for long walks and unwind. This place is away from the chaos of city life and is a perfect break after a hard time at work. It is a complete getaway from the hustle bustle of city life, an amazing experience close to nature. A holiday here takes one to the rustic places in the village where one can get a true insight into village life.
For me, it's very important when I travel that I also go to places that are not big tourist places and are not exploiting nature around me. So that's one of the reasons why I come here.
A person wants to be fit in body, alert in mind and firm in soul, and only the Himalayan peaks can bring the best out of him. Adventure tourism in Himachal is an important part of the policy and has helped in promoting ecotourism. It seeks to offer the visiting tourists a chance to become a part of the nature and involve themselves in activities which challenge them physically and charge them mentally.
Ecotourism is when we use the natural resources in the form it is there, or man-made things like culture and heritage and other things, architecture, it is the way it is. Now our aim is to promote adventure tourism plus ecotourism, combination of this into the new areas.
The Directorate of Mountaineering and Allied Sports are promoting adventure tourism and enhancing the concept of eco-adventure by providing well-devised short-term courses in mountaineering and allied sports to youth. The youth with this experience spread the message of ecotourism when they go back home or to colleges or other institutions. Together, heritage and adventure tourism have added value to the concept of ecotourism. The foundation of ecotourism is its local manpower, and a trained manpower acts as an asset for the smooth functioning of the ecotourism societies. Villagers are given training in terms of cooking, acting as guides, and the taxi-wallas are also trained. This training ensures that the tourists who come from various parts of the country and abroad get good professional services. Ecotourism has its advantages and has started to pick up. It has had its share of teething problems, and the founders of the policy have had to face a lot of difficulties. The first and the foremost being converting the unused forest rest houses into an asset for ecotourism. The next most obvious difficulty was convincing the local communities that they would benefit from the policy and getting them involved in the activities of the society. One of the main but surpassable problems was the question of funding of the society. Gradually, even this problem was overcome, making ecotourism a successful story. The Ecotourism Society is a self-sustaining institution. The profits made from this policy are floated back into the societies for further developments. The revenue earning process of the society is very simple. The biggest chunk of the revenue comes through the areas leased out to private entrepreneurs. Daily visitors, or those who come for a few hours, are charged a small amount for entry into the societies. Greenhouses have been set up throughout the state, and orchids and other beautiful flowers are raised and sold. These earnings are reinvested in the same area for improving the infrastructure, road facilities, signages, and nature trails. The ecotourism societies are striving at widening the reach of the ecotourism policy and are also trying to replicate this policy throughout the state so that the benefits percolate to the common man. The policy aims at providing livelihood to the locals with no harm to the nature. The infrastructure is being improved and emphasis is being laid on the culture and heritage of the state. The idea is to improve the quality of tourism and attract tourists from all over the world. The motive now is to replicate this policy throughout the country and make tourism an experience close to nature.